welcome to a brand new episode of a podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! Which is based on a blog of the same name because our name is Twice Upon a Time too. My name is Kylie and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening, and we're checking out our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, as you're bound to find some common ground or something you like. For Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and the unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. CPU, ! Is upon our summer season and hopes you've been following releases of brand new episodes of the podcast on Wednesdays, as well as new blog entries on some Tuesdays, and as always, we have several more new episodes on the way. Because the panelists and I live lives behind our podcast, the episodes are published once per week. Subscribe to the blog or the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and via Google Play to stay on top of brand new episodes. Episodes already published discuss a variety of shows around the water cooler, including, but not limited to, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, The Vampire Diaries, Orange is the New Black, The Good Place, Grace and Frankie, Game of Thrones, Broadchurch, Stranger Things, iZombie, Fuller House, and American Horror Story. Plus, new episodes are in the works, including revisits for a series of unfortunate events, The X-Files, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., New Girl, The Original, Supernatural, Gotham, Once Upon a Time, 13 Reasons Why. The Marvel's Defenders panel will talk Season 2 of Luke Cage, and the DCTU panel will return to discuss Season 4 of The Flash and Season 3 of Supergirl. We'll be launching new panels covering Sense8, The Crown, Westworld, and Arrested Development. We'll be launching a new feature called Versus, where we'll be comparing shows in a spicy debate. And because we look back at shows now past, we'll be looking back at one of our most popularly requested panels of all time, which is Friends. I promised you, it's coming. They're going to talk about it. It'll be very soon. By the way, did you know that CPU also from time to time goes live? We've been live from the Bunker, comedy outlet Mondays at Dog Story Theater in Grand Rapids Comic Con, and we're planning more live appearances and other cool stuff. So make sure you like or follow us at our Facebook page, our Twitter at CPU Podcast, our Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite, or subscribe to the blog, our YouTube channel, our iTunes channel, our Stitcher Radio channel, or find us on Google Play. In the meantime, if you don't hear your show in this podcast format, fellow panelists and I still write reviews and we always seek new panelists, so if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello by finding us at any of those outlets I've mentioned. At the very least, stop by and leave us a thumbs up, comment, review. We like feedback. We wear our sunglasses at night too. You'll get that reference in a minute. Today, we're around the water cooler for a special episode in which we discuss the 2017 Christmas special entitled Twice Upon a Time of Doctor Who, which aired on December 25th, 2017 on BBC America and BBC Worldwide. In this episode, Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor regenerated into Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor, which we will also spend some time discussing today. To remind the listener, Doctor Who is a British science fiction television program produced by the BBC since 1963. The program depicts the adventures of a Time Lord called the Doctor, an extraterrestrial being from the planet Gallifrey. The Doctor explores the universe in a time-traveling spaceship called the TARDIS, or Time and Relative Dimension in Space. Its exterior appears as a blue British police box, a common sight in Britain in 1963 when the series first aired. Accompanied by a number of companions, the Doctor combats a variety of foes while working to save civilizations and to help people in need. 12 actors have headlined the series as the Doctor. The transition from one actor to another is written into the plot of the show with the concept of regeneration into a new incarnation, a plot device where a Time Lord whose body is too badly harmed to heal normally can instead recover by transforming into a new body. Each actor's portrayal differs, but all represent stages in the life of the same character and form a single lifetime with a single narrative. The time-traveling feature of the plot means that different incarnations of the Doctor occasionally meet, which is very important for today's discussion. Our panel of merry Whovians, namely Kristen, Nick, Sarah, Kyle, and Hilary, return to our water cooler, which is naturally bigger on the inside, to dissect, in our usual devoted detail, for better or for worse, Peter Capaldi's final Doctor Who episode. As always, it should be noted that all of our panelists have viewed all of Doctor Who, at least the revival series, to date, and will, let's face it, discuss tons for plot points. So for those of you who are not caught up on this show, listen at your own risk, as there may be major spoilers. Welcome back, panel. How are you?
Good.
Hi. Good. Are you ready to talk this Christmas special?
Yes.
I think they are. This is going to be maybe a little spicy even. So, not that I want to oversell it. But if you listen to our last episode, which reviewed Series 10, you know, or if you follow our Doctor Who podcast, you know, that we don't do the character question in this particular panel, because if we did, as panelist Kyle says, everybody would pick the Doctor. There's really only a couple of choices. So, what we're going to do instead, I like to ask them to pick some special something or other that goes along with this particular question. They're going to go around the water cooler, remind you all of their first name, and then they're going to tell you what their favorite villain is. Favorite villain. Who would like to start?
I can go first.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Nick.
Hi, Nick.
I'm married to Sarah, who will talk eventually.
That's probably true.
Probably a lot.
Yeah. She's nodding.
Having to pick a favorite villain in the moment, without really being able to think about it too much, probably say the Weeping Angels, just because that episode is so good.
It's like you're married.
I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
I'm married to Nick.
It's true.
I already said that.
I was gonna say the Weeping Angels.
Wow. It's like your soulmates.
We must be in love.
Yeah,
That's a song.
sure.
It is?
I think so.
Probably.
I mean, it's a
is.
lot of songs.
It's a lot of songs.
Just saying.
I mean, don't hold me to Weeping Angels. If we ever do a top 5 villains list or something, I'd have to rewatch some
Off the
episodes
top of
and
your
go
head,
through.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's such a good episode that we're introduced
they're
to.
so good.
It's true. Welcome back, Nick. Welcome
Thanks.
back, Sarah.
It's really good to be here.
I'm Kyle,
Hi, Kyle.
and I'd have to say my favorite villain is Angel Bob.
Remind us who that
Yeah, what
is.
the-
I have
And
no
the- and
idea.
He's
the-
one of the angels.
He's one of the angels, the ones that talks over the radio to Matt Smith's doctor.
Oh,
And Matt Smith tricks him into
I
saying
remember
comfy
he had a
chairs.
name.
We have no need of comfy chairs.
I still don't remember.
What? Yeah. Go.
Oh my
you need to
God.
rewatch that
I
episode.
remember.
Which
I remember
one?
the
Angel?
episode.
The whole episode, the angel's talking to him on the radio, and he's just making fun of this angel, but the angel is oblivious.
Angel
I
Bob.
remember.
He
Wow.
would
Oh
call
my
him
gosh.
Angel
Can
Bob.
we just watch that like tonight now? Okay, sweet.
Welcome back, Kyle. Kyle, don't you want to try the disclaimer?
I don't remember.
False. If this were Dwight, false face.
Kyle can't handle pressure. Okay, so with that being said, I'm his wife, and I'm Hilary,
Hi,
She
Hilary,
handles
his
the
wife.
pressure.
and he's my hubs, and you're my sister.
That's
and
what
you're
we're telling
Kylie.
people. That's true.
I mean, I'm sure we sound like it sometimes.
Yeah. Not gonna deny that.
God, this is sounding so unoriginal, but I still feel like the Weeping Angels are my favorite because they actually scare the poo out of me sometimes. Like, and there's actually lots of villains, I mean, that are really good. We kind of talked about it in a previous episode, multiple previous episodes, but I'm still gonna say probably them. Like, I can see myself actually being afraid of them.
Yeah. Welcome back, Hilary.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
And once again, I'm still not related to anybody on this panel.
What?
You practically are.
I know. I'm unofficially family with this group of kids. And if I had to choose in the moment for my favorite villain, it would be a tie between, because I can never choose just one.
No.
Nope. I'm indecisive, dang it, and I'm going to stick with it.
She is a Gemini.
I am. I am.
It
She's
means
gonna
something.
say
It
Weeping
means some.
Angels, too.
I'm going to say Weeping Angels because they are the nicest villain in all of time and space because they don't kill you. They just send you to a different time and let you live out your life as a normal person. So, still scary, but hey, not horrible. But the scary villain I will pick
Where
is...
they send you.
Well, maybe, but,
Okay.
you know, whatever. It'd be fine. But the scariest villain, I think, would be the Silence from New Who, because that would be petrifying, being scared of something and then immediately
even knowing
forgetting
it's there.
that they exist. Like, you've just forgotten about it.
True.
If
it makes them crazy, too.
Right, and if I were to wake up with random marks on my arms, I'd be freaked out. So those are my two, Weeping
That's
Angels
fair.
and the
I'm
Silence.
gonna jump on that, too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneak into your house and draw.
Weird.
I think that part's actually scarier than the gesture of the marking.
Right?
I'm going to sneak into your house.
But welcome back, Kristen.
Thank you.
And of course, I'm Kylie. I'm related to half the panel and might as well be the
The
other
others.
half. And so, if I were to rate my top 3 villains, it would go like this.
It's 3 now.
Because I can't pick just one either. But the
But at
top,
least I only picked 2.
that's true,
Just
and
saying.
moderator privilege. So I will put the Weeping Angels at number 1 because I agree with Hilary's. colorful description. And then item 2 would
I could have
be
been worse.
yeah. Item 2 would be the silence, because I also think that they are scary, but not in the same way. And then I would actually put as number 3 the master / Missy, because he's a good. He, she, they is a good through line for classic to revival, and they've had some really fun people play that character over the course of time. So welcome back to the panel! Yay! So now what we're doing today is we're talking about Twice Upon a Time, which was the 2017 Christmas special. This is what happened. Wandering back to his TARDIS at South Pole, the first Doctor refuses to regenerate. He encounters the 12th Doctor outside his own TARDIS in a similar state of mind. The pair are approached by a displaced, confused, and injured First World War British captain. All three are abducted by a spaceship where inside they meet Bill Potts. They are offered freedom by the ship's glass-like holographic pilot in exchange for allowing the return of the captain. They escape and take the first Doctor's TARDIS to Viengard, which is World War I. Alone, the 12th Doctor meets with rogue Dalek Rusty. Given access to the Dalek hive mind, the Doctor learns that the pilot and its ship, known as Testimony, is designed to extract people when they died and archive their memories. Bill is one such avatar. The Doctors agree to return the captain to his timeline, which happens to be mere minutes before the Christmas truce. The first Doctor informs the 12th that he's prepared to regenerate and returns to his TARDIS. After being alone with Bill's avatar, the Doctor returns to the TARDIS and regenerates himself after relaying advice to his next incarnation. So, before the regeneration, that is the plot. What did you think? What did you like? What didn't you like?
I really enjoyed this
I did
episode.
too.
Yeah.
It was probably one of my favorite Christmas specials to date.
The interactions between the first Doctor and the new one were great. Especially him correcting the casual misogyny of the first Doctor.
Yes.
Which was a good way to segue into the female Doctor, I thought.
Yes.
Well, yeah, they're pointing out a lot of differences between, obviously,
When
his
it
time
first started,
period
yeah.
and Peter Capaldi's time period. It was very clever. It was definitely one of the most clever Peter Capaldi episodes, for sure.
I think that his Christmas specials
Are the best.
are the
Stand
best
out, yeah.
of his episodes.
Last year's was a little mess.
Was last year's
superhero
was
one?
last one? Was that
The
the
superhero
Was
one.
it, 'cause the superhero one
The
was
wedding.
the one before. Was it the
It was the
Husbands of
wedding,
River
yeah.
Song?
Yeah.
That was
That was
That was
stunning.
big.
that was bad.
Yeah.
Shut up, I love
What?
That was I did not like it.
Oh, you
Oh,
just said
that
you
is
didn't like the Husbands of River.
Yeah, I didn't. I liked the superhero one better, but this is
Oh,
the best of the
okay,
three.
so-
Your brain is different.
Okay, no, it's okay,
That really-
people.
no, it's not.
Sorry, Kristen.
Big eye roll, all of you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thanks for being a good sport, Kristen.
I
We're
know.
always picking on you.
I am the sacrificial lamb to be picked on in every single podcast I am on.
I'm not picking on you.
Well, it doesn't need to be
Actually,
everybody.
you just kind of did a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's okay to be wrong, and that's what this is all about.
I like all three of the Peter Capaldi Christmas specials, even the superhero one. I like all of them.
Boring.
But I do enjoy. Just because you have some issues with it.
Well, no, I mean, if you took the Doctor Who out of that,
The Flash,
would it
is
even
that
have
the one
mattered?
I like?
Is it? Was he in there? No.
Thank goodness. Anyways, I like them all. Hi, Kyle. What were you gonna say?
He forgot.
He said if you took Doctor Who
Out
out
of
of
the
the
superhero one, it
Oh.
wouldn't even have really mattered.
I still
He
enjoyed
didn't
it.
contribute a whole lot to that.
I still enjoyed it.
I just was
Still
saying
enjoyed
they
it.
were his best episodes, were his
Yeah,
Christmas
that's what I'm
specials.
saying. Yeah.
I do love the Husbands of
So do
River
I.
Yeah.
Song.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful. I didn't like this one that much, but I didn't hate it that much. I watched it actually on
I did.
Christmas, so that
I
was
did.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the first time we ever did that. We hadn't watched
We were at
the
Disney
rest
World
of the
and they had
series.
You were at Disney World watching Doctor Who.
Well, it was on.
Perfect life. I mean, really.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
Perfect.
gonna lie. I
Yeah.
was jealous that y'all were at Disney World
Right?
at Christmas.
Me too.
it was fun. I liked that. I don't know anything about the first Doctor, so that was just that piece of
I
nostalgia
don't
was
know
not
what you
there for
need to
me.
know, though.
I get it, but I
It makes
feel
it
like
more
helps,
fun though.
too.
Yeah,
it
it
helps.
does, but you
Yeah.
do know
It
that
enriches
he's
your experience.
had all these other lives to go back to the first one.
But I can kind
still
of see
think
how,
it's-
like, if you have a hard time remembering or you're just not familiar, that it, yeah, I mean, it just wouldn't have as much meaning for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked the soldier guy, and I loved the ending.
The soldier guy played
Mark
by Mark
Gatiss.
Gaddis.
So
Yes.
I love when he
That's
pops up.
Me too.
That's
He's played a different
actor.
character in the Doctor Who universe. remember.
Yes, he had.
I remember them all.
He turned into
But-
a scorpion thing.
Yeah, he did. Because he was the Lazarus pit dude. The Lazarus thing.
Yes, I don't
Back
think it
in-
was the Lazarus Pit.
No, that's DC. Sorry.
It's not racist.
I've been watching
We
a
just
lot
have to talk
of
about that
DC.
so much in DC
Yeah.
that you just can't.
Yeah,
stop
but it's- yeah, the
bringing it
He's
Lazarus-
up.
trying to live forever and
experiment or
it
whatever.
mutates
Yeah.
into a giant scorpion.
I
monster.
thought it was really awesome at the end how it tied into the Christmas truce historically.
Yeah.
People probably saw that coming. I didn't, because we all know I'm not watching this with my brain.
Oh.
I'm just kind of like, well,
I didn't
You
think
didn't see it coming because you said, "Did this really
I
happen?"
know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, it's
guys,
a thing.
World War I was not very focused on in my education, so blah on that. World War II, I got that one down. But,
Sure.
but so I was like, I don't.
The sequel was better.
Apparently, to my teachers, yeah.
Hashtag too soon.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I enjoyed that. I thought that was really interesting and cool. That
I didn't
happened.
see that it was. I mean, I didn't think automatically Christmas truce.
Oh.
I wondered where they were going with it.
I
little
didn't.
bit.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that coming. I was hoping that
They would
it
find a way.
was.
Yeah, they always tied into Christmas in some
Yeah.
sort of fashion at the end. Even if the episode isn't centric on Christmas, they have some sort of
Yeah.
event or relation to it in some
What
way.
a
And it was-
performance by that actor too. By the way, how he was like,
Mark Gaddis?
yeah, he was like, I was ready to die, but now I'm scared. I wasn't scared, but now I am.
Well, I mean, and the cool thing is he would never intended to be an actor. He was a showrunner and a
Yeah,
writer.
he's a
and,
phenomenal writer.
yeah, he's
He's
a
a
great
writer.
writer.
He's a
Oh,
he was
okay.
yeah
He's on
he and-
Sherlock, but
Yeah.
he
As
still
Mike
does
Kraft.
more behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
and he's
well,
written,
he got me fooled. I thought he was an actor.
yeah. Well,
Well, I mean,
He
he's been
is
in
now.
now. He is. He's in
Oh,
Game of
he is
Thrones
now.
even,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, he was in Game of Thrones.
I totally knew all.
but I just think that's cool how he started behind the scenes and then
Mm-hmm.
he just kind of, I'll do this character in my show, and then he just kind of blew up.
right. It'll
for
just
him.
be fun. Yeah.
Kind of like
And
the
he's
guy
amazing
in The
at
Lone
it.
Gunman who.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you liked that guy.
Yeah.
Fro Hickey.
Yeah.
Play characters like for Mycroft. That was obviously something he was passionate about. Sherlock
And
Holmes,
Sherlock, yeah.
and I have a feeling he's passionate about Doctor Who, and he plays a pretty
Well,
significant.
yeah. Well, he's
character.
written a couple episodes too.
Quite more than a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of them.
You know,
Periodically over the Stephen Moffat era,
Yeah.
he's written episodes.
because they're besties.
Oh, and then that was cool at the end. And then, oh yeah.
It was. It
Am
was
I
a
giving
really
something
good
away when he
Christmas.
said his name and he was gonna watch over him, and then it was the person? Someone else do it.
He was
How we
He was the
find out that
grandfather
it's
of
yeah. He's
Brigadier
the Lethbridge
Yeah.
Stewart.
That.
Because the Brigadier, the Lethbridge Stewarts play a role throughout.
Yes.
we see
Doctor
the
His
Who.
daughter.
Since the third
Yeah.
Doctor was when I think they first
Yes.
introduced him.
Other than Sarah, he's the longest running companion too.
Yeah,
And that was
yeah,
cool.
and then
I
his
like that.
his daughter Kate makes an appearance over the Stephen Moffat.
She runs the like.
unit.
She runs unit. Yeah.
See, I remember some
Yeah,
stuff.
so I thought that was I had that was like a gasp, like
Yeah.
moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really sweet.
That was cool.
I enjoyed the whole episode. I have watched of the classic era. The first and the fourth is really the only place I've sampled. And so it was fun. I was kind of wishing for a callback to the 50th. I wanted him to say something about the round things because he loves the round things because that's what the 10th and the 11th Doctors said. But that's fine. He didn't have an opinion about the round things. It's fine.
What round things?
Inside the
on
old
the
TARDIS,
ship, the-
there's
Oh,
always the
oh,
round
Yeah.
Art
I
Deco.
got you. I got you.
And of course, the first Doctor was played by David Bradley to
Amazing.
replace William Hartnell, who's long since been deceased. David Bradley is
He's-
best known as Argus Filch from the Harry Potter
Yeah.
franchise.
And well, and they hired him to play the first Doctor on what was it, like the movie of the making of the
Yeah.
first
Yes.
Which is
episode
also
of Doctor
highly
Who.
recommended.
Yes,
Yeah, that
we-
was
I
really
watched
great, and-
that.
An
Yeah.
adventure in time and space.
Yes, yep, it was.
That was
And
cool.
It was cool, and they loved his performance so much. They were like,
They
we need
brought
to
him
bring
back,
him back, and they finally found a beautiful way to do it. I thought this was so smart.
It was smart, and he really channels them very, very
Oh,
well.
he's perfect.
I suspended disbelief pretty well
Mhm.
for it, and loved all of his. I mean, yes, the 12th Doctor challenged the subtle misogyny, but he challenged his,
Sunglasses. We're inside.
Yeah.
But
Or
it
did
kind of reminds
Did
me.
you take a nip of this brandy now?
Well, it's
And
kind
the
of
screwdriver.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
pretty
the
much making
screwdriver.
fun of him
He's
for
like,
how
"What
much
is
he
that?"
relies on the
He's
screwdriver
like,
instead
yeah.
of his own eyes. And
Why is it
Yeah.
called a sonic screwdriver? Because it makes noise.
It's an audio screwdriver.
It was that same kind of banter is like why I think a lot of us like the 50th anniversary episode, because the War Doctor was kind of teasing 10 and 11 throughout it, so it kind of felt like that a little bit again.
10 and 11 were teasing each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matchstick Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sand
Your
shoes.
proper skin.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've watched that a lot.
This isn't the first time somebody else has played the first Doctor, but I think he did a really good job.
Yeah.
He's really good, and it was very, very enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that was the highlights. The plot, like the whole thing with the archive, wasn't that interesting, really.
Yeah.
And especially
testimony,
especially for a regeneration, because I mean, so many of the regeneration episodes are very big, emotional, epic
Swan
episodes,
songs,
and this one was a lot quieter.
But I was okay with that, and I thought having the testimony where they it's this group where they pull people like right before the moment of their death, essentially download their brains and their memories so that they live on in some form later, which is what happened with Bill. That's why Bill was able to reappear. She appeared as a testimony avatar, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yep.
I thought that was a great parallel to regeneration because, the first Doctor didn't want to. He refused, no, this is me, I'm not going to regenerate. And the 12th Doctor was having a little bit of problems with that. And so I think having that parallel of, well, you're still going to live on through your memories or through others' memories, I thought it was perfectly matched. It may not have been the most interesting, but as far as a cohesive unit, I really couldn't have
Can I
asked for
change
something
my
better.
mind? I think I liked this.
I thought you did when we were watching it.
What's wrong with me?
You don't remember things?
No, I think I liked this one. I don't think it was my favorite, but I liked it.
Well, I liked it. It was just fun. It just didn't. I don't know. It just
Especially if you take into account it's the last
the last
episode
time we're
of the
gonna see
group that is producing these episodes for
Yeah.
years. It kind of didn't. It went out on a quieter,
Yeah,
somber.
because I mean the whole thing of the realization of there's nothing bad going on right now. Like this is just something we don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well put.
Yeah.
Kyle says things that I can't say.
Want to borrow them sometime?
Weird.
Does he do yard work?
Not as much as she would
I was going
like.
to say, I do it more often than he does.
I agree with
Yeah,
Kristen's
okay, we'll pick
point
that up during
What was Kristen's point?
about the parallelism of the stories,
Oh, yeah.
the being reluctant to regenerate. I loved how they kind of inserted that for the first Doctor and paralleled it. Again, this is where he's talking about being tired, which I thought was an interesting point to make. Is he tired just because he is on his 12th life, which he shouldn't have really had? Or is he tired because he's in this body? Or is he tired because it's a meta reference to Peter Capaldi's run on the show? I just thought it was an interesting speech that he gave about that.
Well, other than Razalon, he's the oldest Time Lord because they always burn through their regenerations quicker than that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he's
was it-
already because the fourth Doctor would always say because he was 400, he'd say he was middle aged. So about 800 to 900 is where his natural lifespan should have ended.
Right. And now he's 2,000
Yes.
years old.
Well, but that doesn't take into
And
account
he has his new regeneration, so he knows he
Yeah.
has a much farther road to go.
go.
Wait, how? Why?
Normally they have so many regenerations,
Yeah,
and
but
most of them go through it in about 800 years. Well, he burned
11.
through all of his, and then he got granted a whole nother set of regenerations.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So he could.
Well, and that
So
doesn't
he
even
can live like another
Yeah.
2,000 years.
Yeah, because that it doesn't
potentially.
include River Song giving him the rest of her regenerations first, and then he got gifted a whole new set by the other Time Lords in that pocket dimension.
How
So he's got a
convenient.
ways. Yeah, you know.
For us, we want to keep watching.
True. That works out from a
They-
writing
they- they
standpoint.
work
It
out.
does, because when those rules were initially set back in the 60s, they probably didn't expect the show to be running 50-some years
They
later.
definitely didn't.
So-
No, it was a show for children that went on for a while, but was super popular. So it was kind of like the Sesame Street of Britain. No Muppets. So
Just canine.
yeah, just canine and Daleks that say exterminate. No big.
So before this episode, I would say that the Doctor that Capaldi reminds me of most from the past would have been the first.
Yeah,
But
me too.
and maybe I still agree with that, but there's so many differences just because of how different the show was back then that it was fun to see all of that. I also loved the moment of, I thought I'd be younger. I am younger.
I know. They found a way to bring out some jokes, which I thought was really, really clever. They also found a way to, again, sort of pan through the different doctors at the end, too, to remind us that he has had all of these lifetimes.
In the horrified first Doctor, because there's all the clips that they're
He's like,
using
what
are
do I
him
become?
doing,
He
like,
shows him,
all
you
his
know,
war
he's like
stuff
a
and-
warrior.
That
I
was
was like, when that
but
happened,
out of
so
context,
it's
and Peter
epic.
Capaldi's saying, "Oh no, they didn't show any of the jokes."
There were some really funny lines in this one, and it was very, very entertaining. I did not watch it on Christmas because I hadn't watched the preceding season yet, and I wish I had.
Neither had we.
We watched it last night.
Good job.
To get caught up.
Just in time.
Yeah, we technically watched it before the season, and then we watched the season, and then we watched it again.
Fair enough.
That's weird, but we were just there, and it was like
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's family around.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Other people excited
Shout
about
out
it.
to my future sister-in-law, Whitney, who was like, I gotta watch the Doctor Who thing. I'm like, okay, we'll watch it. Yeah.
So, how would you rank or describe or react to Peter Capaldi's goodbye scenes? He gets to say goodbye to not only his current companions, Bill in the form of her testimony avatar, but also Nardole, who becomes a testimony avatar, at least in this moment. And he gets to see a testimony avatar of Clara Oswin Oswald.
So I was going to ask, what are we supposed to take from that?
Because she gave him back all the memories of
He has
Clara.
all of them back.
Yes.
Okay.
And when she said that, like, that was really infuriating or whatever. It was funny because it was like a wink to the fans, because the fans hated that so much.
I did.
That she remembered and he didn't.
That
And
he
he didn't remember anything
with her.
even from when he was Matt Smith. He didn't remember her at all.
Yeah, she was completely erased
Even
from
though
his
she
memory.
was a huge part of his life.
First two doctors.
Even more, because
All
she
of
was
them.
scattered through all of them.
All of the doctors.
Are we
She's
not-
impossible.
Are we to believe she died then?
She's
No,
off
she's
traveling the world.
But then how did she become the thing?
They've all died at this point.
Yeah.
When he
Because
encounters
time is
the testimony.
Because time is fluid in
Okay,
this show.
okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Just
right,
run with
right,
it.
We have
I
no
got it.
wobbly
Because
time.
I just was
also
double
Bill is
checking.
off exploring time and space with the water.
But the water girl.
So
Heather.
she's out there
Yeah.
alive still too, but the
We didn't even
testimony
talk
was
about
created
Heather.
at some point when they die.
Yeah, it was before her physical body died. That's when they pulled
We
her out.
didn't talk about that.
We also didn't talk about one of my favorite parts was Missy pretending to be the Doctor and calling herself Doctor Who.
Yes,
That was fun.
that's his real name. No, it is. I love that whole scene, frankly.
Yeah.
So how would you rate these goodbye scenes? He says goodbye to the companions and he gives a speech of his own with advice for his next incarnation.
It wasn't the most memorable
No.
goodbye to me. I would say David Tennant's
Yeah.
and Matt Smith's
Yes,
were more memorable.
They were
to
much
me.
more emotional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
But-
felt
but-
like you were like losing a part of yourself when the other two left. I did not feel the same way. I still feel like it was enjoyable. I enjoyed
thought
it.
it was.
It was
This
still
was-
a
it
lot
was
of
in line-
nodding. Yeah.
It was in line with his
And
character,
it
though.
and it felt like it was completion, but I mean,
Well, and
I'm
it tied
pretty
back
sure-
into the 50th with the Never Be
Yeah.
Cruel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I liked that.
So yeah, there were lots of nods, so I still enjoyed it, but I still think overall, like, I think she was starting to say that it doesn't have the same impact. Is that what you're kind of
Yeah, I mean, it's just not as emotional. It wasn't as emotional, but yet it was perfectly satisfying for where we were in that moment. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
It kind
Peace
of reminds
out.
me of when Eccleston had his regeneration moment. We'd only had him for that one season, so it wasn't super emotional.
Yeah.
You know, with Tennant and Smith, we had them for many years. So of course it's going to be a little more emotional. They're fan favorites. They really helped launch Doctor Who globally anyway. Peter Capaldi, he's not everyone's favorite, so I don't know.
It was,
It was
a
just
sweet
kind of in
send off
line-
for him.
yeah.
But yeah.
I like that description. I thought it was a sweet send off for his doctor particularly.
And that production team.
And that production team. He's not particularly my favorite doctor either. I did like what they tried with him. I keep calling him sort of the washed up rocker because he plays
It's true.
guitar, and that, you know, that's fun. So I thought that the speech was in keeping with that motif. Like, they kept that pretty consistent. I didn't have a lot of emotion. I did tear up a little bit when he did talk to Clara's image, though, just because she made some comment about old man or something like that, and
Was that new
funny
footage or was
old
that
man.
reused from one of her last episodes?
I think she appeared,
Yeah, she
She
appeared.
was a little bit older,
New?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
which was nice. And I was
well,
nice
if you
of
have
her.
noticed, like, whenever Clara's there is, like, at least I interpret, there's, like, a calming sense in the Doctor.
Yeah.
Like, he sees Clara and he's like, oh, you know, like, he feels like that's my Clara. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it anyway. I don't know.
Well, if he met her at all these
Yes.
points, it must be like comforting to
That's-
meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's not the most memorable, no. I mean, 10th and 11th's goodbyes were kind of epic to the point of epic. This was not epic, but it was fitting.
It wasn't epic. I kind of was ready for a new Doctor. Basically
Agreed.
for everyone, what everyone else said. But it's also, I think it's going to be weird if the next Doctor lasts more than 3 seasons. Like, I'm set up for this pattern.
But Smith was longer than 3 seasons, wasn't he?
He was 3.
Was he only?
3.
Wow,
It was technically longer because of all those little bonuses, but it was only 3
10
official.
was 3 core and then 2 years of
movies, yeah. Why do I feel like Matt Smith was longer than 3?
Matt
think
was
there was-
5,
yeah.
6, and 7.
Yeah, I think
and
there was
he had-
gaps between some of his seasons.
Maybe that's why, because I feel like Amy and Rory were around for like 2 or 3 seasons, and then Clara was around for...
Clara was
Clara-
only a half season of Matt Smith.
Yeah.
That's it? She was only half? I
She
feel
made
like
she made a big impact though at the end of
Wow,
it.
because I feel like she was around for at least a full season with Matt Smith, and then one more with Paul.
They had such winning chemistry.
They did.
Those two. I mean, there was a real Tracy Hepburn vibe about them, which was kind of the thing that didn't translate so well.
Well, and her stories were well written. I remember all those episodes.
Yeah.
She
Not
did have
perfect.
great stories. Actually, the companions, I mean, Amy, Rory, River, and Clara had really
Strong stories.
I thought the writing
stories.
was good then, yeah.
Yeah, that's when it was still fresh with Moffat, so hopefully
Yeah.
it'll carry with Chibnall too, having fresh, strong stories when he starts out.
Yes. Excellent segue. I do what I can.
Sorry to
Everyone-
derail your segue. One more
No
moment.
segue at all. Not sequitur.
One moment I really liked is we've known the Doctor's always kind of battling with what he is and who he is, and people try to tell him he does horrible things, and he was the War Doctor,
Yeah.
and they even called him the Doctor of War.
Yeah.
It was really nice to have that last moment when peace breaks out, and the first Doctor says,
yeah.
"Oh, so this is what a Doctor of War is." I just
Yeah, it's not exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I really
That
liked
is
it.
a
It was
nice
very
thought,
Yeah.
Nick.
Now you can segue.
Segue. Just
But also, one more thing. I like when the
Quit
doctor-
rushing us.
Yeah, now we want to make it longer.
yay! Have at it.
I always like when the doctor meets himself in general because he's never trusting that it's him. Like, wait, I'm the doctor. No, wait, you're the doctor. Wait, what?
Because it's always
Like,
the older
yes.
incarnation, because they don't know what's
they don't
coming.
know, and so
Oh,
it's just
so
funny
funny.
to see like. And they're like, oh, that's just one of his old faces. Like, sometimes the companion, they can just tell. They
Yeah.
just know.
They-
They know him better than he knows himself. It's great.
I thought the use of Bill was really fun in this special just because of the commentary
Yeah.
and the fact that he didn't know for sure if it was really her. And
Yeah, he was very suspicious.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they were
I
able
did
to
like
get
that.
those
Like, he was
moments.
like, well, my Bill would have, I actually really like that too. My
Yeah.
Bill would have said this or done this. And she was like, no, trust me. It's me. I'm here. I'm with you. That was a nice touch. I like that too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he was in the end. He was
That's
right
right.
though. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
it
was
wasn't
right.
his.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that was cool.
it was as close
It's
as he
an
could get.
extension of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way
It
to put
worked though.
It did.
And that was some emotions there. There was some feels. In
Well,
those
I think
moments.
he has some guilt for how she ended up, even
Yeah.
though
Well,
Heather.
the doctor frequently has guilt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
Heather
Yeah.
came and took her to be in Puddle Land traveling, I
it.
think,
Traveling the universe.
yeah, I think to him being a Cyberman is like
Well,
the worst.
I was gonna say because as far as he know, he woke up and she, as far as he knows, she was dead. He doesn't know that Heather came back and took
Oh,
her
he
off.
doesn't
Yeah.
know that?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He was already out when that happened.
Right.
So
She
That's why
explains
he
it to him
doesn't
a little
believe
bit.
at first when
Yeah.
he sees her. He's like,
That's
wait a minute,
right,
but you're
that's right.
dead.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said it to her.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, that's cool.
It was nice.
Wasn't it Bill who took Heather showed up?
Yeah.
But Bill was like, "I'll show you around first."
Yeah, yes, because Heather functionally is kind of like those avatars.
Also, well, I was just thinking again the difference in the time period because the first doctor, when he makes some comment about like understanding the other, so, and she's like, "No, I know a thing about understanding the fairer sex as well."
And they
That's
all
funny.
went,
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
yes. That was fun. I was going to say that it was Heather, the puddle, whatever she was,
Star Eye.
Star Eye, was functionally like those avatars, basically memories. So I thought that was an interesting kind of bookend on Bill, too, you know. she's basically kind of living that same existence. I actually thought the initial hologram was Bill, but just Bill somehow water evolved.
Manifesting herself there.
Yeah. As a water being without form, but it turned out to be somebody else. So I was like, well, okay. Fine. So, are you ready to segue?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do
Let's
it.
hop on.
SEGUE.
Good job spelling the Olive Ostrovsky. So, Jodie Whittaker,
I don't think the listeners will understand.
They won't get that reference.
the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling.
I just spelled a word.
Which is a Broadway show of musical.
We're theater people, some of us
You
here.
can cut
They've
it. I
heard
don't care.
that. She brings it up a lot when she's on a podcast.
I don't think I bring it up too much. I just
I
spell
know.
words.
Sure.
This might be too much.
Aww.
So what were you saying about Jodie Whittaker?
She's like
Jodie
drunk.
Whittaker is the first female doctor ever? What?
Yes! Jodie Whittaker from Broadchurch now plays the doctor. She is the first woman to take on the character. This has created a frenzy of worldwide controversy
Kyle's upset.
with diametrically opposed reactions, some of which are quite scary, actually. In fact, the sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, the oldest living doctor, no, Peter Davison is. No, Tom Baker.
I was like, Tom
Tom
Baker.
Baker.
Tom Baker.
Anyway, he's one of them.
They're not related, though.
Yeah, they're not
The
related.
Bakers are not related.
Okay.
No.
Sixth Doctor Colin Baker reacted so strongly, he suggested that young boys would lose a role model if the Doctor was a woman.
Wait, who said this?
Colin Baker.
The sixth Doctor.
He's already the most hated doctor.
That's
Yeah, he
true.
is.
He wasn't helping his cause. Where do you land on the new Doctor? The new Doctor being female, the new Doctor being Jodie, the new Doctor in general.
A show that's 60 years old, we need something different. It can only help the
they
show.
would have needed to either cast a person of color in the character or a woman, or they could have been super radical and done both. They needed to do something to shake it up, and I'm really glad that Chris Chibnall finally had the balls to do it when Moffat didn't.
And I get maybe some of the old people at first having some issue because we don't
It's
really
so
know in
different.
classic who, if they can change gender, but the reboot has established that well.
Especially with Missy, bringing
Yes.
Missy in ahead of time, whether intentional or not, it opened up the gateway.
And showing that one general where he's the older white guy and he regenerates
Yeah.
into
And
the
into
black
a
We've,
woman.
woman.
we've
Yep.
seen it a couple
Yep.
of times. It's fine.
Look, I don't know. I don't know this Colin Baker guy, but I think it's gonna be okay, sir. Like, young boys have plenty of role
They
models.
still have 12 other doctors
And
to look up to.
They
They
can
do.
look up to women too.
They
so
can.
let's just step out of our sexism for a bit. And
I just hope she does really good so those people aren't like, oh, see, I was justified.
I mean, I feel like they're probably gonna say that anyway. Like, even if
Some
she's
of them.
Yeah.
amazing, they'll be like, she sucked.
Who's better, was a guy.
Yeah, I really liked
That's-
Jodie Whittaker. I think she was a very good choice because she's worked with Chris Chibnall on Broadchurch for 3 seasons, and I think her work there was phenomenal, even though it was more on the dramatic side of things and the comedic.
I just don't know what to expect for her because I've only seen
Yeah.
her Broadchurch, which is such, and her character is so somber and what she's going through. So I'm having a hard time picturing her being the character of the
she's
doctor.
really
but
charismatic. Like, if you ever watch interviews with her, I really like her energy. I think she's going to be a great choice.
although I don't like that they gave her essentially the same start as
Matt
Matt
Smith.
Smith.
With-
That's
Exactly.
what I said.
Yeah.
Kyle said,
I said
"Man,
it.
wouldn't she?
It is.
Wouldn't he
he
have
prepare-
learned his lesson by regenerating? Because last time he regenerated in the TARDIS, it messed it all up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Capaldi chose that to go
Yeah.
into the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like, it's going to happen now. I'm going to...
well, and it was Chris Chibnall's choice too, because what they do when they switch showrunners, so Stephen Moffat wrote the Christmas episode up until when Capaldi regenerated, and then once he was in regeneration mode, Chris Chibnall wrote the rest of that episode, the last 30 seconds or whatever, so that way it ties in with him.
And
It's
usually
kind of the
they
passing
let
of
the
the torch.
the next doctor choose their first line.
Or
their
something.
first-
Yeah, how they're gonna.
Did she have a first line?
Oh,
Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, she looked at herself.
Yeah,
and
she
then
was
the
trying to see
reflection.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the change.
I'm not
just
super excited about her costume, so I
Yeah.
want to see how that kind of ties in. She has elements of a couple different doctors in her outfit, so that'll be interesting to see the reason why she chose it.
it's got that rainbow from Colin Baker.
On the long coat and Yep.
Does she have suspenders?
She has suspenders.
I saw a
That's
couple
what when I
other.
first
She has
saw
the
her, it
boots.
reminded me of Mork from
Yeah, a
A little
Betty.
bit. Yeah.
A couple other shots and stuff I've seen. It doesn't. Some of those elements that were jarring, you don't necessarily
Notice as
always
much.
see.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Maybe she's just only had men's clothes. Well, I guess the companions leave clothes behind.
They have a
magical
whole
closet.
That's
closet of.
It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to
Even
see
a cooler
why, why did they have the TARDIS explode again, and also with the dramatically different design of the sonic screwdriver going forward too. They said that will make sense because they make it out of like found material or something. Like they said it'll make sense as to why it looks the way it does.
Yeah, because I have a feeling she's going
When
to
you
start
see
out,
it.
because even though Matt Smith started out with his damaged TARDIS, I think she's going to start out with no TARDIS.
Yeah, so it'll be almost like reminiscent of the third Doctor,
Yeah.
where he was
Well,
just
we
more
know
on
the
her-
TARDIS
even parts
is
of
a
the
woman.
fourth
Maybe
Doctor,
the
he was
TARDIS is
stranded.
rebelling at the fact that she's a woman. I'm just saying.
Who knows?
You're quiet over there.
How do
Yeah.
you feel about Jodie Whittaker being the next Doctor?
I like Jodie Whittaker, but I also have a hard time with change, not because it's a woman, just because I have a hard time with change. So,
That's self-aware.
so I just don't know what to expect, but
We're
I'm
at the top of the Doctor cycle and the regeneration
Yeah,
You-
but I'm open to what the possibilities are, kind of like what they were talking about. I'm not necessarily
we're hopeful,
as
but we don't know what to expect.
yeah, I'm not necessarily as enthusiastic. I personally believe that there are already a lot of strong female characters that are already in existence that are just not being utilized, that could be explored in other ways, but it's not the fact that the Doctor's changing into a woman. I just have a hard time with change in general. So we'll
This
just
is a hard show for you.
yeah, it can be, but ultimately, like I said, there's a lot of possibilities. I actually do like her costume. I think it's pretty cool looking so far. She actually just showed up, like, Hot Topic works with her universe, which is a lot of, like,
It's nerdy clothes for girls.
fandom related things for women. And she showed up at the fashion show with her full new garb, and I thought that was really cool of her to do. So I'm excited. I think there's a lot of possibilities. I just don't know where they're going to go yet. And yes, a lot of the changes, we're not using a lot of the old villains and stuff.
And it's only 10 episodes,
yeah,
too.
and they don't have to
Oh.
be so heavy on the old villains, but I still like the nods to them, so we'll just see what happens. I'm fine with the change, but he's going to have to do it well because he is going to have a lot of
Skepticism.
people, yep, and a lot of people waiting to have criticism.
I'm not sure so they've said that they're not going to bring back this first season with her. A lot of stuff from Classic.
Yeah.
Who. I'm not convinced they're not going to still have nods to the past. I think
Yeah.
that we're just not going to have a
Or
Dalek
even,
episode.
or
Right.
right
It's
away,
like-
even maybe in like her second season, but they probably want
Yeah.
to just do one
I'm
full
fine-
season of
yeah.
establishing her
So-
universe.
But look at, when some other new villains have been brought in, like the Weeping Angels were new and the Silence was new, and they're, great villains now that people really like. So, maybe if they're great ideas, maybe we'll have a new classic villain emerge from this upcoming season.
I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. I don't know if I have a framework around that excitement. I think it isn't just because she's a woman, but the fact that she's a woman and the fact that it's supercharged everybody in some instances.
I think it was ridiculous for people to get, like, violent over it, though. Like, that's a bit much.
Well,
but-
that's what I was just going to say. That there is a divide between I'm both excited and a little scared. Because I think the pressure for her is going to be much, much higher than a normal doctor would be. But then again, isn't that the standard that most of us women must fight and live by each and every day? So
yeah.
it's kind of a self-commentary in and of itself. I also like her costume. It does remind me a little bit of Mork. I don't think that's a bad thing, though.
R.I.P. Robin Williams.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it'll be fun. I think she'll be fun. I think she will bring a good energy to it. I have seen her in interviews as well, and she's not Beth Latimer. She's not. She
I
was
just haven't
acting.
seen interviews. I haven't seen clips of her in anything but Broadchurch.
Yeah, I
so.
haven't either.
Yeah. I think you guys might like her.
Yeah. I don't have any clue what they're going to do companion-wise, and hearing this about they're going to go completely fresh for a while. Also, I didn't know that was going to happen. I try to avoid too many spoilers just because I don't want to, spill them out in a way that I don't have any self-control on these podcasts. But I'm excited to see what happens. I'm intrigued. How's that?
Do we know when it premieres?
It's this fall.
Forecasting October, nothing official.
They've just said autumn of 2018, but yeah, they've released the trailer. They released the trailer at Comic-Con. Trailer looks really cool as to kind of where they're going to be going with it. I'm intrigued. It's different, but I don't think it's not canon, if that makes sense. Like, it still feels familiar, but it's new.
Kind of like the new Star Wars movies compared to the old Star Wars movies. That's that commentary.
Don't have a frame of reference. I haven't seen
Or
any
like the new
Wars.
Star Trek movies.
No,
No,
it's
that's
not
how
the
we
same.
Well, fine. I like her costume look. I just Googled it.
Yes.
It kind of looks like she's performing in a production of Godspell.
Yeah, it's a little 70s.
It's
Yeah,
a little
a bit of that.
prepared.
I hope she's in that
She's got
costume.
some Tom
cool.
Baker-esque in there.
I think there's a coat over it, is why.
Yeah, there's the long
So
coat.
that's usually closed. But I hope she's not in Capaldi's for too long, because you see a couple pictures, and it is ridiculous how much shorter she was compared to him.
She's short in real life, which is fun too. They'll probably have some jokes like that.
I hope so. It'd be nice to relate to a doctor on a short level.
You'll have a personal connection.
I will, because we're short.
Samesies.
I'm also excited. I like that there'll be 3 companions. I hope an issue I have with past doctors and their companions, sometimes they go into the romantic issue. We talked about how with Bill, it was nice that it wasn't part of it. I'm hoping with this dynamic of 3 companions, they don't do that right off the bat with the first female doctor, make some sort of romantic story. Because
I
I don't
hope
think we
she
need
doesn't.
it.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't have one, because that to me almost feels like.
Well, yeah, and then in the trailer
Like what
she
they've been doing
says,
with every
yeah,
other movie, they have
Or
to have a
Supergirl,
romance.
right,
Somebody
or-
they're mooning
I'd
over.
love to
Jessica
see
Jones.
River Song come. That'd be fun.
She said she'd do it.
I know.
she
would.
would do it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
In the trailer she just says, will you be my new best friends? So I hope that they won't bring a romantic element for her, especially with that declaration.
I mean,
out
maybe
there.
if one of them has a crush on her and she's
Or,
Oblivious,
one of the...
how every
yeah.
other doctor is to it, that'd be great.
It'd be fun if she kind of played this doctor with almost a kid-like energy when she ends up being the oldest incarnation of all of them. That would be a fun juxtaposition too, which I think could also de-sexualize her a little bit.
Kind of have that wonderment
Yeah,
element to her.
wonderment. That's a
Which,
good word.
which she might. They might take her that direction since she is brand new in more
I
ways
mean,
than
it's
one.
going to affect. Not that they play into it too much, but they make a couple comments when a companion goes back into Earth's past. It's going to affect how everyone else sees her because of how women's rights have been. Like, if they go far enough back, it could be, I don't know, interesting storytelling, but something they didn't really have to deal with the Doctor before.
There's lots of possibilities. There's a lot of unknowns. So in the final moments of the special, the Doctor's lost control of the TARDIS, just like apparently the 11th Doctor.
Yep.
And has fallen out of it mid-flight, and we see her kind of plummeting to the Earth and the TARDIS spinning off into the sky, space. What do you expect or hope to see in the moments that follow? That's a
Or
short.
not splat on the ground.
Yeah, wouldn't
Yeah.
That would be a
That's a high
sucky
fall.
show otherwise, wouldn't it?
Maybe someone's gonna save her.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Maybe
always somebody
she-
looking out for the doctor.
Yeah, or
That's
maybe
what
she
I'm
falls
saying.
into water. I don't know.
That'd still be
Yeah, it
a
looked
high
like a
impact.
city.
That's a high impact.
Physics behind that
Yeah.
Science.
don't look great. But maybe she'll catch the screwdriver. I don't know. Do like a flourish.
Not
I
if she's
couldn't tell you.
building it from TARDIS
This is
components.
the thing,
Yeah,
y'all.
it's-
I don't write for this
I
show
don't know.
because I can't think of anything. So good. Don't call me because I got nothing.
Fair enough.
I would like to see it be a realistic end to that situation, but what do I know? It's a science fiction thing. So.
Yeah, because with 11, he crash landed in Amy's backyard.
Yep.
Right?
But was he
Fish
up in the
fingers and
universe
custard.
like she was, or was he just over?
He was lower.
He was
Yeah.
It
much
spun down into the city and then it crashed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't like. Yeah, I think that this impact from the regeneration actually hurt the TARDIS more.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I interpreted.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
inside of
It seriously
Smith's
looked like
TARDIS
it was
on fire.
This looked like it was
exploding.
exploding.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the trailer, you mean?
Yeah. No, from
No,
the
you
last
see it
moments of the
happen.
episode.
Oh.
When he's full blown, and then
It
all of a
hits
sudden,
the console directly.
yeah, and then that starts to like explode, and then the other parts and the round things start to explode.
Explode.
It makes me nervous that there's just not going to be a TARDIS in the next next.
Which that will really bother me.
Well, I think
Here's
there
the thing.
will be.
I have to
Everyone says
draw a
that.
line.
They did it with the fourth Doctor,
That's
where
true.
he was stuck on Earth with no TARDIS, and it worked fine. He was the
Okay.
head of unit, and he was still going
Oh,
on
the
adventures.
third?
You're
Was it
making
the
a good
third
point.
one?
I'm calming down.
The
already.
fourth did that?
The third was at
He was-
Unit 2,
was
but then
exiled.
he was
Yeah,
exiled.
But the TARDIS was always there.
Okay.
He would
It
still
was-
go to other places.
Yeah.
Thanks, honey.
How did he get anywhere?
You
He
helped
just
In the
me.
fourth Doctor?
Yeah.
For a while, he was just on Earth, like doing missions, but then he
Like a
was
moment
granted
forgery
use.
and-
Yeah, he was granted use of his TARDIS, and then eventually he could leave Earth even.
Oh. Okay, well that's good.
So they've done it in the past and made it work. So I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
But
Just seems like a lot of change.
yeah,
Change is
Handle it.
not always good, and it's also not always bad,
The only constant is change,
right?
especially
Oh,
on this show.
jeez.
Yep. New logo,
You can't
new
handle the
doctor.
truth.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's hard to think
Yeah.
of other things I want to see because
Well,
we're
just
gonna
don't know what
get
to
new
expect.
things.
Yeah. Well, and the tagline for this season is "The universe is calling." So I think that
so
there's
I would
going to
imagine the TARDIS is coming back.
yeah, because there's I feel like there's going to be a lot of off-Earth experiences with that tagline. The universe is calling. They're going to be off and away.
I don't have any predictions. It was just an intriguing question.
It's like, how can you know where it's? I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
with it
don't.
brand new.
I mean, we can make predictions when there's already sort of something of the story in place. So.
And,
You
consistent
say what we
show.
want to see. I'd like
Yeah.
to see Donna Noble.
We know we're not gonna
What's
get
going to
that.
be what's likely?
keep
I'd like
Yeah.
to see an animal companion.
They
Bring
could
back
get
K9.
Canine
It
out of
doesn't have to
storage.
be a robot. It could be a dog or a cat or a bird. I don't
You
know.
just want him to have a pet, or do you want like an alien animal that talks?
All
and
those things.
ascends you?
Give him a Dalek companion.
Why
That'd be
can't a
interesting.
dog go
That
along?
would be
Dogs
really
are very
interesting,
smart.
actually.
I would enjoy that. And I would like to see the other rooms in the TARDIS.
More
I feel like
rooms.
we
That'd
don't.
be-
Yes!
I feel like we
You know
don't
what?
do that at all.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I would love to see more of the rooms. All the companions get to see the rooms.
Yeah, we don't get to.
There's a
There
lot
was
of
the one.
rooms.
There's a one
And now there's a
episode
budget.
where yeah,
Like,
Or they were running
In
through the
classic
they were
TARDIS.
running through certain. Yeah, they were running.
Element, yeah.
But you
But
didn't
even
really
then,
get
it's
to see the
deactivated.
rooms.
It was like the very base corridors.
Yeah.
Yeah, because wasn't that called like Journey to the Center of the TARDIS?
Yes.
or something?
Yeah.
So that's true. I'm on board with
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see the
There's a
closet.
dog there.
I want to see the closet again.
that. Yeah, they
'Cause
were
we
just
saw-
talking
we saw
about
the
all
closet- we saw
'Cause
the closet
Bill
briefly
was like,
with
where do you
Tennant.
get all these outfits?
And once with Matt Smith,
And
he
he's
just
like-
went
yeah.
to it for like bow ties or something.
yeah.
there's a
Bow
pool.
ties are cool.
There's a pool in there.
Yeah.
There's
all
swimming
the
pool in the
different
library.
bedrooms and yeah.
So
I'd like to
that's,
see the Eighth Doctor's library again. It's cool.
Kyle really loves the Eighth Doctor.
he does.
It's a good movie.
It is a
It
good
is a
movie.
good movie.
And his audio episodes are really good.
Yeah.
So maybe him coming back.
The
We would
Eighth
like to
Doctor?
see.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, he came around for the,
Yeah.
the 50th
How
He
prequel.
got, yeah,
Okay,
well, they brought
so
him back
there's
to
something.
do his regeneration, which was
Since
I
I
was
just
so
pointed
great.
out how I like when the Doctor meets different faces of himself, one of the male doctors seeing the female Doctor version.
Yeah,
that would be
that'd be
interesting.
That'd be neat to do like season 2 with her. I
Matt
think.
Smith keeps talking about how he wants to come back.
Because he hasn't really made a good career for himself after Doctor Who, like he was
He
expecting
was on the
to.
ground.
I know, but
He's
it's
not on
done
the
now.
ground anymore.
they randomly
Especially
replaced
how
like
much-
everybody.
Tennant. has
What?
done.
On that crown, they replaced like everybody. This
They
Yeah,
did.
because they got older.
Yeah,
They're
and then
going for QE2's whole life.
yeah, they'll replace everybody again after 2
QE2.
seasons of this.
Whole life.
Yep.
So,
but we
yeah.
digress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another podcast, which we will be doing in the future. Hooray.
He's got 5 upcoming projects, so step back.
Stop dogging Matt Smith over there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I
Matt
love
Smith
Tennant
is
too.
her heart's heart.
I know.
No, I mean I don't like him. I like him like a friend. He's in a movie coming up about Charles
She
She's
Manson.
likes him.
Manson.
She
Patootie.
doesn't
Oh, yeah.
like him.
You
Like
gotta
him.
pick
Plays
I
one.
like him.
Charles
like
Manson.
Yeah.
He's Charles Manson.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't handle
He is
it.
separating himself from his previous work to show he has range.
Yeah.
So he's got stuff going on.
But if we're talking about doctors meeting doctors, I hope at some point it won't be on her immediate tenure. They explore this concept of old faces.
I was gonna say the curator.
The
Yeah.
curator
Doctor.
talked
He
about.
said
He's
I
a
mean,
future incarnation of the Doctor. He'll return to some of the old faces.
Yeah. He's you'll revisit a few
Yeah,
of
I
your favorite
know.
faces.
That was my
Mhm.
favorite.
Yeah.
Gotta rewatch those.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Teeter.
Such a great special. Such a great special. A1.
Mm-hmm.
A plus. I'm gonna watch that too. I've watched it like 5 times. It's the only episode I watch so much. It's just the way I roll. Anything else you want to say
how
about the
she's explaining it to
Christmas
me.
special? Or the 13th Doctor or the 12th Doctor's last episode?
I wish you luck, Jodie. I hope that people at least give her a chance.
I agree with that.
I feel like as it's gotten closer, people have
Calmed down
I've
a
heard
little.
less of the outrage.
Yeah.
Well, and the show kind of paved the way for it better than
Yeah.
I would have expected when when people were first suggesting it. Even I was hesitant, just because and from watching it from the entire standpoint, when they've explored Time Lord biology, they never established that that male Time Lords were Time Lords and there was Time Lords.
I mean, yeah, even when they did it
Is
with the
Romana-
Master, it was
but
still
yes.
convenient. But
Romana
it's fine.
changed from a woman to a woman.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So when they first announced, I was like, that goes against what we know. But they've done enough in the new series where I'm fine with it. They've
Well, and
established
they've
their
never
own
said that they
rules.
specifically can't
Yeah. Right.
either.
well, especially he has a whole new set of lives. This is a whole new set of
I was
lives.
saying he's
Yeah.
living an unnatural. Him and Missy both got second regeneration. So now, I mean, it could be established that that's what happens when you.
I like that. I mean, that's the suspension of disbelief where I'm at as well. Like, I agree with Kristen. They never explicitly said it couldn't happen. I think it was just a fact of the way that where the show was timed. And
Oh my gosh, yeah, the 60s, 70s.
yeah, I
the
mean, they
female
wouldn't have
lead.
made a
Yeah,
female lead.
it would not have gone over well.
Not at least until Wonder Woman and some other ones that
No.
came out in the 70s. So I had no hesitation. I do notice that when there are Doctor Who posts on Doctor Who fan pages and the official page, there's less angry floating faces on Facebook. You know, the angry faces. Because for a while there were a lot of angry faces. If there was any supportive post for Jodie Whittaker or for a female doctor, there was angry faces. Now I don't see that
all
as much.
fandoms are like,
Yeah.
especially like comic books and
There were
nerdy
angry,
fandoms
there
that
were angry
change.
faces for Capaldi too.
I mean,
you know?
every time the Doctor changes.
Yeah, people
People
latch
upset.
onto it,
Yeah.
onto it like
Guys,
from their
get on your
childhood.
regeneration cycle picture and find yourself and where you are. This is how the show works.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, it's not erasing your doctor.
No.
You can always go back.
What do they say? You always remember your first doctor? Or in my case, you always remember the second doctor. The most.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of kids out there who Capaldi is their doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And there'll be even more where Jodie Whittaker is their doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, it is cute seeing all these pictures of little girls at Comic Cons already wearing
Dressing
her
up like
costume,
her.
already being excited about
Yeah.
it. That's really cute.
That's really sweet.
Aw, that's so sweet.
I gotta get more costumes of stuff.
We don't
Talk
have
to
any.
Kyle.
I don't have any. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna get that elaborate. That takes time. That takes talent. I don't have that.
We're not going to weld.
I'm thinking like Amazon. Yeah, we're not.
Solder.
I do want a Starfleet uniform, but
You can order those.
I think that's a good idea.
well, I've been looking
Christmas
at them.
present
They're very
idea.
expensive. The ones.
Don't go with the Novos. Overpriced, and you'll wait like 2 years.
Oh, there you go. Anything else you want to say about Peter Capaldi's end, Jodie Whittaker's beginning, the Christmas special?
I'm pretty excited about it just because I feel like they just ran out of steam the last 2 series. So I'm ready for anything at this point.
Cool.
Thank you, Peter. Sorry I was so hard on you. It's not all about you.
I mean, Matt Smith was
He's a
such a
great
high,
actor.
and coming in after Matt Smith and David Tennant, I mean,
That's
it's
a
a hard
hard
play.
It
act.
was rough. It was rough, but you did good.
I liked you, Peter, because I liked that you played the guitar. That was my
You're
favorite part.
easily pleased.
I liked your
Yes, that's true.
costume too.
That's not always true.
It's a lot true. It's truer than some people.
I like that we are now on. There's a lot more actors who have played the Doctor that are still alive to do some of those.
Crossovers and
Yeah.
cameos.
Combined
Since-
episodes.
Even when we were on Matt Smith and we had 2, one of them won't do it.
Yeah.
So at least now we have 3 that I'm sure would do it, and we can get something like. As a kid, I loved the episode The 3 Doctors and the episode
And
The
the
5
5
Doctors.
yeah.
Even though The 5 Doctors is
It's
really.
kind of a cheat.
Yeah. Since Tom Baker refused to come back, and the first Doctor was dead. But they got a different actor.
Didn't they just do a cardboard cutout or
I mean,
something?
That
that's
was just
essentially what
for
they did
people-
with the 4th Doctor.
That's
Oh.
what they did for like
Oh,
the
okay.
advertisements. They
Just like
borrowed
a
Madame
stills.
Tussauds
Wax
wax
figure.
figure.
Yeah.
of Tom Baker because he just played the Doctor for the longest out of all 4 of them, and he didn't want anything to do with
He
it.
was kind of tired.
See, you put a
But he
mannequin
came
in a
back
black
for the
leather
cure.
jacket, Christopher Cleston.
He also played, what's his name, Puddleglum in The Silver Chair, the BBC's version of The Silver Chair.
Stop it. Was
He
that him?
That was Tom Baker.
That was Tom Baker. No
Well, he did a
kidding.
very good job because I enjoyed that. And we're probably the only 2 people that have ever seen that. It was
I own
weird.
them. I do.
Can I borrow?
Yes.
He's a good Sherlock Holmes. He did a Sherlock Holmes special on the BBC.
Let's talk about Tom Baker more.
We like Tom Baker.
When is he coming back?
Would you like a jelly baby?
Didn't his daughter marry...
No, that's
Not
Peter
Fifth
Davidson.
Doctor.
Okay, sorry. See, I don't know, guys.
Okay.
I try.
We're finally talking about Tom Baker, and Spency isn't here.
Oh, Spence.
Jeez.
I didn't get that in with the other recordings.
You know what, girl?
You have 2 more,
We gotta
3
get in
more
the fun
chances.
I think we've said all we needed to say about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Bon voyage.
Are you going to keep watching?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you recommend Doctor Who?
Yes.
Why are you quiet?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, she's on to Hillary.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Me too. So I think, they talked about it a lot. You guys did good. It was a good talk. And since it was a good talk, I'm going to thank you and mean it. Thanks to Sarah, Kristen, Nick, Kyle, and
Not
Hilary.
mean it most of the other times.
Yeah.
Just let it go, Kyle. Let it go.
I thank Sarah, Kristen, Nick, and Hilary for joining me once again to talk about Doctor Who. And because we've talked about Doctor Who, and I've thanked them, most of them, all of them at some point, I now have to do this. CPU is produced by Backpocket Productions, run by yours truly, the Chief Couch Potato, and hails from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Please, if you like what you hear, would you take the time to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play? That means stars, comments, reviews. This is what tells us how we're doing, because we want to know, and we like to talk to you, and we like to know if you're listening to us talk as well. If you have suggestions on shows we might consider, contact us at our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, via email at couchpotatoesunitepodcast@gmail.com, or via Facebook and Twitter. Though, of course, we add new and old shows to chat about around the water cooler all the time. I talk about them in the intro at length. We have several more new episodes coming down the pike. And if you miss old episodes or want to know in general what we cover, just find us on the web at our website, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our social media accounts. You can find new events and episodes, and you can find anything old you want to know too, as well as what we cover in general. Now, until the next time, if you want to catch up on Doctor Who, the Christmas special is not currently on Amazon Prime, but Series 10 is. So you can watch Series 10, but if you want to watch the Christmas special, you are left to your own devices. It will probably come out when the next season comes out. Talk to Amazon, don't get mad at me. In the meantime, our Doctor Who panel will next reconvene following the airing of Series 11, Jodie Whittaker's first season as the Doctor, which is forecasted for a fall 2018 premiere, though no official premiere date has yet been announced as of the time of this recording. So until next time, until next episode, new episodes published every Wednesday. Keep listening, keep watching, stay tuned!
Bye.
Bye.